Should you add a windmill to your solar setup? No. This is not a short answer nor a long answer. This is just the answer. The answer is no. As you can see, the windmill is not moving. And for the last week and a half, on and off, I've created no power. This is an ideal spot, but during this setup, I've learned how to wire up windmills and it's not worth it. So since I'm planning on getting some runtime for this video, let me explain my solar setup, how I was planning to wire the windmill to my solar setup, and why all of this does not work. Haha, guess to turn off the autofocus. This guy just turned it back on. So since I have no ad for that little break there, let's go straight into my setup. My solar setup consists of two 220 watt solar panels connected in series. They run up a wire and goes into my Pecron E1000 LFP. My Pecron powers this window AC unit and small electronics like my phone and my LiPo battery charger and so on and so forth. These 220 watt solar panels, when I first got them and over the winter, they produced a maximum of 380 watts, 380 something watts. Right now at the maximum they produce 270 watts, and this is why I wanted to add a windmill. A couple of weeks ago we had some thunderstorms, and with those high winds I thought, wow, I would produce some serious electricity if I had a wind turbine setup, and that's why I bought my windmill. This here is the Vevor 500 watt wind turbine. It is connected to a 2-inch diameter 10-foot tall PVC pipe, and this is my wiring. So I'm actually quite proud of my wiring because in this entire setup I did not do any soldering. And I learned to make Anderson connectors. These are very, very nice. I like them a lot. So these are the wires coming out, extension wires from the windmill. Windmill is an AC windmill, so there are 3-phase wires. They go into the wind controller, and oh my god, would you focus? And from the wind controller, they go down into this Y connector. I will talk about this later. But from the Y connector, it goes to the watt meter, and the watt meter is connected to an LiFe PO4 battery. So, to get power to this wind controller here, you need to power it with an LiFe PO4 battery. And my great idea was to have power from the LiF to put a splitter, so this back feeds into the wind controller, and when the windmill is spinning it produces power, and I have a splitter that also charges this LiFe PO4 battery and goes into my Pecron with this XT60 cable. This is actually pretty genius, but I plugged up my Pecron E1000 LFP to this setup while the windmill was not spinning, and guess what happened? What happened was I was inputting from the windmill, I was inputting 95 watts. Where did those 95 watts come from? Those 95 watts came from the battery. So even if there was not any wind spinning, this would be charging the Pecron power station. This is not ideal, and I also can't charge this LiFe PO4 battery from the power station. If you want to have a battery work as like an extension, like an expansion battery rather, you would need a 51 volt battery or a 48 volt battery. You would have to play with like the extension ports, get an expansion battery for your power station. It's a whole lot, which essentially kills the idea of this, because this wind controller, it is rated for 12 or 24 volts, and your expansion battery would either be 48 volts or 51 volts. More than likely it's going to be 51 volts. So for the expansion battery to power this, you have to step down the voltage, make a whole bypass circuit just to power your wind controller, and to get power from this. It's not worth it. With the amount, oh Jesus, today is going to be 103 degrees, so like this video for me, sweating bullets making this video for you guys. This this setup is very inefficient, not very good. For the amount of money I spent on this setup, I could have bought another solar panel and added it in parallel. If I put 3 in series, I think I would overvolt my Pecron E1000, so parallel would have been the way to go. Don't worry guys, I actually went into this video knowing that it would fail, but I didn't expect to fail quite like this. This is more a learning experience than a known fail. I have seen the video from Alex Beal, Footprint Hero by Alex Beal, where he did a video on the wind turbine and he failed too. But learning from his mistakes, I ended up making a different set of mistakes that I could have learned from. So before I permanently decommission this setup and possibly return the windmill, I have just one question. How much power can you reasonably get from this windmill? Alright, this is 15. 15, holding at 15. We might have a tailwind. That would be really good to know, huh? Yeah. I hope one day we find out. If you guys want to know the products I used in this video, or you want to fail in the name of science, or you're interested about Anderson connectors, I have links in the description down below. If you don't buy anything, just at least buy the crimpers. I have 3 crimpers that don't work, and 1 crimper that actually works for the Anderson connectors. So get those crimpers, don't bother with everything else. This was a cool moment, a learning moment for me. No soldering, I did no soldering in this video. I am happy. Alright, so yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Bye.